breakfast yet, Maggie.
Breakfast? After a Mason's meeting?
He'll need reviving.
Then I wish he'd go and do it.
Are you expecting anyone, Alice?
Yes, I am. And you know I am. And I'll thank you both to leave when he comes.
Well, I'll oblige you.
If Father's gone out first, only you know I can't leave the counter till he goes.
Good morning, Miss Alice.
Good morning, Mr. Prosser. Oh, Father hasn't gone out yet.
Oh.
He's late. What can we do for you, Mr. Prosser?
Well, I can't say I came in to buy anything, Miss Hobson.
This is a shop, you know. We're not here for letting people go out without buying.
Well, I'll just have a pair of boot laces, please.
What size do you take in boots?
8. I have small feet. Does that matter to the laces?
It matters to the boots. Sit down, Mr. Prosser.
Yes, but I really don't.
It's high time you had a new pair. These uppers are disgraceful for a professional man to wear. Number 8 from the 3rd rack, Vicky, please. Mr. Prosser didn't come in to buy boots, Maggie. And I wonder what does bring him in here so often.
I'm terrible hard on boot laces, Miss Hobson.
And you go through a new pair a day? You must be so strong.
I keep a little stock of them. It's as well to be prepared for accidents.
And now you'll have a new pair of boots to go with the laces. There. How does that feel?
Very comfortable.
Try it standing up.
Yes, that fits all right.
I'll put on the other.
Oh, no, I don't really want to buy them.
Sit down, Mr. Prosser. We can't just let you go out, go through the streets in odd boots.
What's the price of these?
£1.
A pound, I say.
They're very good boots. And now you won't have to buy a new pair of laces today, because we give them in as discount. Braid laces, that is. Of course, if you want the leather ones, you being so strong in the arm and going through so many pairs, then you can have them. Only, it's a tuppence more.
These will do.
Very well. You'd better have these old pairs mended then.
No.
We'll send them home to you with the bill.
Well, if anyone had said I was coming in here to spend £1 today, I would have called them crazy.
It's not wasted. These boots will last. Good morning, Mr. Prosser.
Good morning.
We know you're a pushing saleswoman, Maggie. It'll teach him to come in here so often. He's too much time on his hands. You know why he comes in? I know he ought to pay a rent for coming. A new pair of laces a day is not near enough. Coming to make sheep's eyes at you. I'm sick of the sight of him. That's all very well for an old maid like you to talk. But if Father won't have us go courting, where else can we meet except here when Father's out? If he wants to marry you, then why doesn't he? Courting must come first. It needn't. Do you see that pair of slippers over there with the fancy buckle on them to make them pretty? Courting's like that, my lass. All glitter and no use to nobody.
Hey, I'm just going out for a quarter of an hour.
Yes, Father. Don't be late for dinner. There's liver.
It's an hour off dinner time.
So that if you're at the Moonrakers for more than an hour...
Moonrakers? Who said...
Your dinner's ruined. It'll be your own fault.
Well, I'll be
Don't
eternally...
swear, Father.
No. I'll sit down instead. Now listen to me, you three. I've come to conclusions about you, and I won't have it. Do you hear? Interfering with my goings out and my comings in. The idea of a mind to take measures with the lot of you.
Father, dear, you'd have more time to talk to us after we're closed tonight?
I'm told me now, and you're listening. Providence has decreed that you should lack a mother's time, a mother's hand when single girls grow bumptious and need somebody to rule. But I tell you this, you'll none rule me.
I'm sure I'm not bumptious, Father.
Yes, you are. You're pretty, but you're bumptious, and I hate bumptiousness like I hate a lawyer.
If we take the trouble to feed you, Father, it's not bumptious to ask you not to be late for your food.
Give and take, Father.
I give, and you take, and it's going to end.
And how much a week do you give us?
That's neither here nor there. Present, I'm on uppishness, and I'm warning you that your conduct toward your parent has to change. But that's not all. That's private conduct. Now I move to broader aspects and I speak about public conduct. I have seen my household as they go about the streets, and I've been disgusted. The fair name and fame of Hobson have been outraged by Hobson's own family, and uppishness has done it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Vicky, you're pretty, but you can lie like a gas meter. Who had on new dresses last week?
I suppose you mean Vicky and me?
I do.
We shall dress as we like, Father, and you can save your breath.
I am not stopping in for my business appointment for the purpose of saving my breath.
You like to see me in nice clothes.
I do. I like to see my daughters nice. That's why I pay Mr. Tudsbury £10 a year ahead to dress you proper. It pleases the eye, and it's good for trade. But I tell you, if some women could see themselves the way that men see them, they'd have a show. I saw you and Alice out of Moonraker's parlor window last Thursday night, and my friend Sam Mims,
A publican.
a publican, and as honest a man as God Almighty ever put behind a bar, my ladies, my friend Sam Mims asked me who you were. And well he might. You were going down Chapel Street with a hump added to nature behind you. And the hump was wagging. You put your feet on the ground like you had chilblains, all stiff-necked above and weak knees below. It's immodest.
It's not immodest, Father. It's the fashion to wear bustle.
Then the hell with the fashion.
Father, you are not at Moonraker's now.
You should open your eyes to what other ladies wear.
I'll do naught of the kind. I'm a decent-minded man. I'm Hobson. I'm British middle class and proud of it. I stand for common sense and sincerity. You're affected, which is bad sense, and insincerity. You've overstepped nice dressing and taken on grand dressing, which is the occupation of fools and them as has no brains.
Do you want us to dress like mill girls?
No, nor like French madams, neither.
We shall continue to dress fashionably, Father.
Then I've a choice for you two. You'll become sane if you're to continue living here. Or if not, you'll get out of it and exercise your gifts on some other men but me. I'll choose a pair of husbands for you, that's what I'll do.
But can't we choose husbands for ourselves?
I've been telling you for the last 5 minutes that you're not even fit to choose dresses for yourself.
You're talking a lot to Vicky and Alice, Father. Where do I come in?
You?
Well, if you're dealing husbands round, don't I get one?
Well, that's a laugh. You with a husband?
Why not?
Well, I thought you'd have sense enough to know, but if you want to hear the brutal truth, you're past the marrying age. You're a proper old maid, Maggie.
I'm 30.
I'm 30 and shelved. Well, all women can't get husbands, but you two, mind you, I'll have less uppishness or I'll fob you you off on some other men but me.
1 o'clock dinner, Father.
Listen to me, I'm the master of this house. It's 1 o'clock dinner because I say it is, not because you do.
Yes, Father.
Well, so long as that's clear, I'll go. Oh, no, I won't. Here comes Mrs. Hepworth getting out of her carriage. Good morning, Mrs. Hepworth. What a lovely day.
Good morning, Hobson. I've come about those boots you sent me home.
Oh, yes, madam, they're very nice.
Get up, Hobson. You look ridiculous on the floor. Now, who made these boots?
We did, our own make.
Will you answer a plain question? Who made these boots?
They were made on the premises.
Young woman, you seem to have some sense. When you serve me, can you answer me?
I think so, Mrs. Hepworth, but I'll make sure.
Thank you.
Tubby!
Do you wish to speak to the identical workman, madam?
I said so.
I am responsible for all work turned out here.
I never said you weren't.
Yes, Miss May.
Now, did you make these boots?
No, ma'am.
Then who did? Am I to question every soul in the place before I find out?
Those are Willie's making those.
Then tell Willie I want him.
Certainly, ma'am. Willie!
Who's Willie?
Name of monster, madam, but if there's anything wrong, I can assure you I'm capable of making him suffer for it.
Are you Hobson?
Yes, Mom.
You make these boots?
Yes, I made them last week.
Well, take that. See what's on it?
Right.
Read it.
I'm trying.
Bless the man. Can't you read?
I do a bit, only it's such funny print.
It's the usual italics of the visiting card, my man. Now, listen to me. I heard about this shop, and what I heard brought me here for these boots. I'm particular about what I put on my feet.
I can assure you that it won't happen again, madam.
What chance?
I don't know.
Then hold your tongue. Now, Master, I've been to every shop in Manchester, and these are the best made pair of boots I've ever had. Now, you'll make my boots in the future. You hear that, Hobson?
Yes, madam, of course he shall.
Now, you keep that card. And, Master, you won't dare leave here to go to another shop without letting me know where you are.
Oh, he won't make it, Shane.
Huh. How do you know? The man's a treasure. And I expect you underpay him.
That'll be all, Willie. You can go now.
Yes, sir.
It's like a rabbit.
Can I order another pair of boots for you, Mrs. Hepworth?
Not yet, young woman. But make the boots.
Certainly, Mrs. Hepworth.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Herford. Such an honor to have you as a customer, ma'am. Oh, I wish some people would mind their own business. What's she want to do praising a workman to his own face for?
I suppose he deserved it.
Deserved it be blowed. Makes them uppish, that's what it is. Last time she sets foot in my shop, I give you my word.
Don't be silly, Father.
Oh, who knows? Thinks she owns the earth because she lives at Hopewell.
That's a bit of a startler.
Huh? Oh, morning, Jim.
You're doing a fine class trade. If the carriage folk come to you at Hobson,
What?
what was that, Mrs. Hepworth?
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Hepworth's an old and valued customer of mine.
It's funny you deal with Hopeville and never mentioned it.
Oh, I've been making boots for her and all her circle for, I don't know how long, Maggie? I don't know.
Well, you kept it dark. Well, are you ready to go on over yonder?
Yes. That is, no.
Are you ill?
No. No. Get away, you girls. I'll look after the shop. I want to talk to Mr. Healer.
Well, can't we talk over at your records?
With Sam Mims and Denton and Tudsbury there?
Oh, why did then? Are you in trouble, Henry?
They're the trouble. Do your daughters worry you, Jim?
Nah, they pretty much do as they're bid, and the wife disciplines them if they don't.
Oh, Jim, a wife's a handy thing, and you don't know it proper till she's taken from you. I was grateful for the quiet when my Mary first fell on rest, but I can see my mistake now. I used to think myself hard put to fend her off when she wanted something out of me, but the dominion of one woman is paradise compared to the dominion of three. They scorn my wisdom, Jim. They answer back. My own daughters have got the upper hand on me. I raised my voice and I roared at them.
Oh, beware of roaring at women, Hobson. Roaring is mostly empty noise. Now, you quit roaring at them and get away.
What of that? Trouble is to find the men.
Oh, men's hollering up. They're looking for angels and witches.
I want my daughters to marry temperance young men, Jim.
You keep your ambitions within reasonable limits, Henry. You've 3 daughters to find husbands for.
2, Jim. 2.
2?
Well, Vicky and Alice are mostly window dressing in the shop. But Maggie's too useful to part with. And besides, she's still on the ripe side for marrying, is Maggie.
Oh, I've seen him do it at double rate. That, leaving her out, is 2.
One'll do for a start, Jim. It's a thing I noticed about wenches. Get one wedding in the family, and it goes through the lot like measles.
Now, you want a man, and you want temperance. It'll cost you get, there's things called settlements.
Settlements?
I got to bait the hook to catch fish, Henry.
Well, then I'll none go fishing.
But you said...
I've changed my mind. I fancy a bit of peace, but there's luxuries a man can buy too dear. Settlements, indeed.
I had a man in mind.
Now, you keep him there, Jim. Settlements, indeed.
Well, You say they're cute.
They work for that, and they're none of them big eaters.
And their wages.
Wages? You think I pay wages to my own daughters? I'm not a fool.
So it's all off then?
From the minute you mentioned the word settlements, it was dead off, Jim. Come on, let's go to Moonrakers and forget that there's such a thing as women in the world. Shop, shop. Maggie, I'm going out.
1 o'clock dinner, Father. Remember.
Dinner will be when I say it is. I'm the master here.
Yes, Father. 1 o'clock.
Come on, Jim.
Willie, come here.
Yes, Miss Maggie?
Come up and put the trap down. I want to talk to you.
We're very busy in the cellar.
Show me your hands, Willie.
They're dirty.
Yes, they're dirty, but they're clever. They can work the leather like no other man that's ever come into this shop. Who taught you, Willie?
Why, Miss Maggie, I learned my trade here.
Hobson never taught you to make boots the way you do.
I had no other teacher.
And needed none. You're a natural-born genius at making boots. It's a pity you're a natural fool at all else.
I'm not much good at aught leather, and that's a fact.
When are you leaving Hobson, Willie?
Leaving Hobson's? I thought I gave satisfaction.
Don't you want to leave?
Not me. I've been at Hobson's all my life, and I'm not for leaving till I'm made.
I said you were a fool.
Then, I'm a loyal fool.
Don't you want to get on, little Mossop? You heard what Mrs. Hepworth said. You know the wages you make, and you know the wages a bootmaker like you could make at one of those big shops in Manchester.
Nay, I'd be feared to go into them fine places.
So what keeps you here? Is it the people?
I don't know what it is. I used to be in here.
Do you know what keeps this business on its legs? 2 things. One, the good boots that you make that sell themselves. 2, the bad boots that other people make that I sell. We're a pair, Will Mossop.
You're a wonder in the shop, Miss Maggie.
You're a marvel in the workshop. Well,
Well, what?
it seems to point one way.
What way is that?
You're leaving me to do the work, my lad.
I'll be getting back to my school, Miss Maggie.
You'll go back when I tell you to go back. I've been watching you for some time now, and everything I've seen, I liked. I think you'll do for me.
What way, Miss Maggie?
You're my man, Will Mossop. 6 months I've been counting on you, and it's bound to come out sometime.
But I never...
I know you'd never, or it'd not be left to me to do a job like this.
I'll sit down. I'm feeling odd, like... What does want me for?
To invest in your business idea. In the shape of a man.
I've got no head for business at all.
But I have. With my brains in your hands, we'll make a working partnership.
Partnership? Oh, that's a different thing. I thought you were asking me to wed you.
I am.
Well, I come. And you, the master's daughter.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I've had enough of Father, and you're about as different from him as any man I know. You'll wed me, Will.
Oh, nay, I won't. Really, I can't do that, Maggie. I can see that I'm upsetting your arrangements, but I'll be obliged if you'll put this notion from you.
When I make arrangements, they're not for upsetting.
What makes it so desperate awkward is that I'm tokened.
What?
I'm tokened to Ada Figgins.
Then you'll get loosened quick. Who is this Ada Figgins? Do I know her?
I'm the lodger at her mother's.
Scheming hussy. She's not that Sandy Gill who comes to bring you your dinner.
She's golden-haired, is Ada. I shall be here soon.
And so shall I. I'll talk to her. I've seen her and I know the breed. She's the helpless sort.
She needs protecting.
Oh, is that how she got you? Oh, yes. I can see her clinging round your neck until you fancied you were strong. Well, I'll tell you this. It's a desperate, poor sort of woman who'll look for protection in the likes of you.
Ada does?
And that gives me the weight of her. Born to meekness, Ada is. You wed her and you'll be an 18-shilling-a-week workman all the days of your life.
I'm not ambitious that I know of.
No, but you will be. I've got my work cut out for me, but you've the makings of a man about you.
Oh, I wish you'd leave me alone.
So does the fly when the spider catches him. You're my man, Will Mossop.
Aye, so you say. Ada would tell another story, though.
There's your dinner, Will.
Thank you, Ada.
I want a word with you. You're treading on my foot, young woman. What's this I hear about you and Will?
Oh, Miss Hobson, it's so good of you to take notice like that.
Ada, she is...
You hold your hush. This is for me and her to settle. Take a fair look at him, Ada. Will? Not much for two women to fall out over, is there?
Maybe not much to look at, but you should hear him play.
Play? Are you a musician, Will?
I play the penny whistle.
Oh, so that's what you see in him. A gawky fellow who can play the penny whistle.
I see the man I love, Miss Hobson.
It's funny. I could say the same. You?
That's what I've been trying to tell you, Ada. And by gum, she'll have me from you if you don't be careful.
So we're quitting so far, ain't it?
No, pardon me, you spoke too late. Will and these tokens.
That's the past. It's Willie's future that I'm interested in. What's your idea for that?
That's none of your business. Will Mossop is no concern of thine.
That's what I try and tell her myself. Only she will have it. It's no use.
Not now. Now, I've asked you for your idea of Willie's future, and if it's a likelier one than mine, then I'll give you best and you can have the lad.
I'm trusting him to make the future right.
It's as bad as I thought. You'll wed me, Will.
It's daylight robbery.
Aren't you going to put up a better fight for me than that, Ada? You're fair giving me to her.
You wait till I get you home. I'll set my mother on you.
That'll do. Is that who made the match? Her mother?
She had above a bit to do with it.
I've got no mother, Will.
You need none, neither.
Well, can I sell you a pair of clogs, Miss Figgins?
No. Nor anything else.
Then you have no business here, have you?
Are you going to see me ordered out, Will?
It's her shop, Ada.
You mean I have to go like this?
I find when it comes to parting, it's best to do it quick and no whimpering about.
I'm not whimpering. And I'm
her mother?
She's a terrible rough side to her tongue, has Mrs. Figgins.
Are you afraid of her?
Yes?
You needn't be.
Yes, but you don't know her. She'll jump me till I'm black in the face when I go home tonight.
You're not going home tonight.
Not go?
You're done lodging there. You'll go to Tubby Wadlow's when you knock off, and Tubby will go around to Mrs. Figgins to pick up your things.
And I'm not to go back there. Never no more.
No.
Oh, it's like an happy dream. Hey, Maggie, you do manage things.
And when Tubby's there, you can go around to putting up the marriage bands for us two.
Marriage bands? But I'm hardly used to the idea yet.
You'll have 3 weeks to get used to it. Now, you can kiss me, Will.
That's forcing things a bit, and all. That's like saying I agree to everything. A kiss is.
Yes.
And I don't agree. Yet, I'm still like...
Come along, Will. Do as I tell you.
Now?
Yes.
Is that here?
Yes.
I go...
What's wrong with Willie? Oh, he's just upset because I've told him I'm going to marry him. How's dinner coming along, girls?
What? Mary? Willie Mossop? Willie Mossop? You've kept it quiet, Maggie.
You knew about it as soon as he did.
Well, I don't know. You don't know. Well, I know. If you're afraid to not speak your thoughts, I am. Oh my goodness. Maggie, what you do touches us, and you're sadly mistaken if you think I'll own Willie Mossop for my brother-in-law.
Is there supposed to be some disgrace in him?
Oh, ask Father if there's disgrace in it. Look at me! I'd Hobson Albert Cross until all this happened.
You'll marry Albert when he's able. And it'll probably be when he's spending less on the laundry bill and hair cream.
Well, what about that dinner?
Dinner will be ready in 10 minutes, Father.
You said 1 o'clock.
1 for 1/2. And if you wash your hands, dinner will be ready when you are.
I won't wash my hands. I don't hold with such finicking ways.
Father, have you heard the news of our dear Maggie?
News? There's no news. It's the same old tale. Uppishness. You keep a starving man from the meat that he's earned by the sweat of his brow. I'll show you to.
That'll do, Father. Hold your temper. You'll soon need it when Vicky speaks.
What's Vicky been doing?
Nothing. It's about Willie Mossop, Father.
Willie?
Yes. What's your opinion of Will?
A decent lad. I've not against him that I know of.
Would you like him in the family?
Whose family?
Yours.
I'm going to marry Willie Mossop. That's what all the fuss is about.
Marry? You? Mossop?
You said I was past the marrying age. I'm not. That's all.
Did you hear me say that I do the choosing when it came to a question of husbands?
You said I was too old to get married.
You are. You all are.
Father!
And if you're not, it makes no matter. We'll have no husbands here.
But Father, you said that
I've changed my mind. I've learned a few things since then. There's much too much expected of a father nowadays. There'll be no weddings here.
Oh, Father!
Now go and get my dinner served and talk less. I'm not in a right temper to be cross.
You and I will be straight with one another, Father. You're not a fool, and I'm not a fool. And things may as well be put in their place as left untidy.
I tell you, my mind's made up. You'll not have Willie Mossop. Why, lass, his father was a workhouse rat, a come by chance.
It's news to me we're snobs in Salford. I have Will Mossop, and I'm to settle my life's course. A good course, too, so think on.
I'll be the laughing decent at your time of life.
I'm 30, and I'm going to marry Will Mossop. Now, I'll tell you my terms.
You're in no position to dictate terms to me, my lass.
You'll pay my man the same wages as before. As for me, I've given you the better part of 20 years without wages. I'll work 8 hours a day in the future, and you'll pay me 15 shillings a week.
You think I'm a maid? Grass.
You'll soon be made of less if Willie goes, and if he goes, then I go, and that's what you've got to face.
I might face it, Maggie, I might. Shop hands are cheap.
Cheap ones are cheap. The sort you have to watch all day in the shop. I'm value to you, and so's my man. So you can put your hand in your pocket and do as I tell you.
I'll tell you what I propose, Maggie. Will Mossop cannot leather you, my lass. You're female and exempt. But I can leather him. Come up, Will Mossop. You've taken up with my Maggie, I hear.
Nay, I've not. She's done the taking up.
Well, either way, my lad, you've fallen upon misfortune. Love's led you astray, and I feel bound to set you right.
Maggie, what's this?
I'm watching you, my lad.
Mind you, Will, I bear you no malice. You can keep your job, but we must beat the love from your body.
You'll not beat love in me. You're making a great mistake, Mr. Hobson. I'm not wanting that Maggie. It's her that's after me. But I'll tell you this. If you touch me with that belt, I'll take her quick. And stick to her like glue.
Well, there's no but one answer for that, my lad.
And I've no but one answer back. Maggie, I've none kissed you yet. I shirked before. But if I come, I'll kiss you now, and take you, and hold you. And if Mr. Hobson raises up that strap again, I'll do more. I'll walk straight out of shop with thee, and us two will set up for ourselves.
Oh, I knew you had it in you, lad.
I'm sure I don't know what to tell you to do, Tubby.
There's nothing in it at all to start on, Miss Alice.
Well, Father's out, and I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you to do.
The high-class trade has dropped like a stone this last month. Of course, we could keep making clogs to add to the inventory if you'd like.
Oh, dear. What would Miss Maggie have told you to do?
I couldn't tell you that, miss. I'm sure.
Then go get clogs.
Them's your orders.
Yes?
Thank you, Miss Alice.
I wonder if I've done right. That's your lookout. No, I don't care. It's Father's place to be here to tell them what to do.
Maggie used to manage without him.
Oh, sure. Go on. Blame me that this place is all 6s and 7s.
I don't blame you. I know as well as you do that this is Father's fault. He ought to look after his business himself instead of spending more time than ever at the Moonrakers. But you needn't be snappy with me about it.
I'm not snappy at myself. It's these figures. I can't get them to balance right. What is 17 and 25?
13 and a half, obviously.
Oh, that still doesn't balance right. Oh dear, I wish I was married and out of it.
Same here.
You?
You needn't think you're the only one.
Well, you're a sly one, Vicky Hobson. You've kept it to yourself.
It's just as well now that I have. Maggie spoiled our chances forever.
Nobody's fretting to get massive for a brother-in-law.
Maggie, you here? I thought you'd just drop in. Vicky, what's this Mr. Beanstalk's been telling me about you and him?
If he's told you, I suppose you know.
She got it out of me, Vicky.
Leave that alone. I'm here to help, if you'll have me.
It's very good of you, Miss Maggie. I must say your father's become quite awkward of late.
I reckon he'll change. Alice, has your young man been in yet today?
My young...
Albert Prosser.
No.
Do you expect him?
He hasn't been in so often since you and Willie
Since when?
Since you made him buy that pair of boots he didn't want.
I see. He didn't like paying to take his pleasure in our shop. Well, if he's not expected, then someone must go and find him. Prosser, Pilkington, and Prosser, solicitors of Bexley Square. Is that right?
Yes, Eldridge and Prosser.
Aye, a big man in his own way. Mr. Beanstalk, you'll have to go and fetch him. And tell him to bring that paper.
Suppose Father comes in and finds them here, though.
He won't. Tell them, Mr. Beanstalk.
Well, you see, your father won't be coming here because he's at our place just now.
At your corn warehouse? What is Father doing there?
He's sleeping, Vicky.
Sleeping?
Well, you see, there's a hatch that opens in our floor. Well, your father wasn't looking very carefully where he was going and fell.
Is Father hurt?
He's snoring very loud. But he's not hurt, Vicky. He fell soft on some bags.
Now, you can go for Albert Prosser.
Is that all we're to be told?
We've come to put things straight for you. Father told you to get married and you don't shake.
He changed his mind.
I don't allow for folks to change his mind.
You haven't made it any easier for us, you know.
Meaning Willie?
It wasn't my fault, Miss Vicky. Really, it wasn't.
You call him Vicky now, Will.
No, he doesn't.
He's in the family. Or he's going to be. And if you want your Freddie and you want your Albert, then you'll be respectful to my Willie.
But Willie was our boot hand.
He was. And you'll let bygones be bygones. He's just as good as you are now. And better.
Nay, come, Maggie,
Better, I say. There, shop hands. You're your own master, aren't you?
I've got my name wrote up on the windows, but I don't know so much about being master.
There's his business card. Willie Mawson, practical boot and shoemaker of Oldfield Road. Willie Mawson, master bootmaker. That's who you have the privilege to call by his Christian name. And I'll let you do better than call him by his name. You can both kiss him as your brother-in-law.
Hey, Maggie, I'm no great hand at kissing.
I've noticed. A little practice will do you no harm. Come along, Vicky.
But Maggie, a shop of your own?
I'm waiting.
I don't see you ought to force her to it.
Why do you always have to get your way?
Just a force of habit. Now come along. I have a lot to do today.
It's under protest.
Protest, but kiss. Your turn, Alice. party. Very well.
There's more in kissing nice young women than I thought.
Don't get too fond of it.
I hope you're satisfied, Maggie. You've gotten your way again. Now, perhaps you'll tell me what you want in this shop.
Hey, are you trying to sell me something?
I'm asking what your business is here.
I've told you once. Will and me's closed up shop to put you in the way of getting wedded.
Looks like things are slow at your new shop. You can walk around in your best clothes on a working day.
It's not a working day with us. It's a wedding day.
You've been married this morning.
Not us. I'll have my sisters there when I get wedded. It's going to be at St. Philip's at 1 o'clock, and you're to come home tonight for the wedding spread.
It's asking us to approve.
You have approved. You kissed the bridegroom. And you'll come along with us. Father's safe where he is.
In the shop?
Tubby can look after the shop. That reminds me. You can sell me something. You see those rings in the drawer there, Vicky?
Brass rings?
I want one. Yes, that's the right size.
Oh, Maggie, please tell me you're not taking it for a wedding ring.
Yes, I am. Will and I aren't throwing money around, but we can pay our way. It's 4 pence for the ring. Gather it up.
But wedding with a brass ring?
Alice, you haven't put the sale in the books. No wonder you're worried about the accounts if that's how you're managing them.
I'm a bit too astonished with you to worry about accounts. A brass ring out of stock?
They're always out of someone's stock.
Well, I think shame of myself to be married with a ring like that.
Those who can't afford the best have to go without it.
I'll take good care I never have to go without that.
Ah, semi-detached for you then? A house full of new furniture?
Haven't you furnished?
Hardly what? We made a stop. We start at the Flatiron Market.
I'd stay single sooner than have other people's cast-off sticks in my house. Where's your bride gone to, Maggie?
I'm not getting wed myself to help the furniture trade along. I suppose you would turn your nose up at second-hand furniture as well, Vicky?
I would start properly or not at all.
Then you'll neither of you object if we clear up the lumber room upstairs. We brought the hand cart.
And that's the way you're going to live, with cast-off furniture.
Aye, in 2 cellars on Oldfield Road.
A cellar?
It suits me fine. And when we're richer than the both of you, we'll look back on where we came from with grand satisfaction.
Wait a minute, Will. These chairs aren't so bad.
Then you can sit in one tonight and see.
You know, mended up, of course. These chairs could do very well for my kitchen when I'm wed.
Yes, or for mine.
You've got no kitchens, and I suppose that my parlor comes in front of your kitchen. And if you want my plan to work, then you'll remember, all I'm taking off of you is some crippled furniture, and what I'm going to giving you are marriage portions.
What? Marriage portions, Maggie!
Put your hats on, girls. You don't want to be late for church. Have you got what I asked you to bring, Mr. Prosser? Is this English?
Legal English, Miss Hobson.
I didn't think this is the sort of talk we had in Lancashire. What does it mean when you get behind the says and to wits and whereases?
It's what you told Freddie to instruct me. Action against Henry Horatio Hobson for trespass on the premises of Jonathan Beanstalk and Co., corn merchants of Chapel Street, Salford, with damages to certain corn bags caused by fall. claim for spying on the trade secrets of the aforesaid J.D. & Co. I've made this out to your instructions, Miss Hobson, but it's far from what are you boys doing?
Is that any couch?
I cannot be keen on going into court with it.
Nobody asked you to. It won't come to court. What's the time?
It's 1:45.
Girls, if you're late for church, then I'll never forgive you. Now then, Freddie, you can go and put this paper on my father in your cellar.
Now?
No? Yes, now. Father's gonna awaken at any time.
He looked fast enough. And aren't I to go to the church?
All right. And if you're quick enough, you'll get there before we're through.
All right.
And then there's the hand cart. Albert, you'll have to take it to our place for us.
Me?
Yes. There's the key. 39A Oldfield Road.
But to push a hand cart through Salford in broad daylight.
It won't dirty your collar.
Suppose some of my friends see me.
Look here, lad. If you're too proud to do a job like this, then you're not the husband for my sister.
It's the look of the thing. Can't you send someone else from here?
No, and you can think about it. Tubby!
Yes, miss. Why, it's Miss Maggie.
We're all going out for a while, so you'll have to see to the shop.
I'll be back in half a minute, Miss Maggie.
Now, what's your answer, Albert?
I suppose I must.
That's right. We can consider it your wedding gift, perhaps. And I'll allow that you're putting yourself out a bit for me. Well, Lily, you've not had much to say for yourself. How's feeling, lad?
I'm going through with it, Maggie.
Hey?
My mind's made up. I've got right up to point. I'm ready.
It's church you're going to, not the dentist's.
I know. You get rid of someone at the dentist's, but it's taken someone on to go to church with a woman. And the Lord knows what.
Look here, my lad. I've respect for church. Yon's not the place for lying. The pastor will ask you, will you have me? And you'll answer truthfully and not at all. So if you don't want to go through with it, then you can just tell me now.
I tell him, yay.
And truthfully?
Yes, Maggie. I resign. You're growing on me, lass. I'll toe the line with you.
We're ready, Maggie.
And it's about time. It's not your weddings you're getting ready for.
Will, have you got the ring?
I have. Do you think I'd trust him to remember it?
Here. It's a very great pleasure to us to see you here tonight. It's an honor you do us, and I assure you, speaking for my wife, as well as for myself, Beanstalk and seconded by... No, I've gotten that the wrong way. Yeah. Expressed by Mr. Prosser and seconded by Mr. Beanstalk will never be forgotten by either my life partner or self. And I'd like to raise this toast to you in my own house. Our guests, and may they all be married soon themselves.
Our guests.
In rising to respond,
Sit down. We've had enough of speeches.
but we ought to thank him, Alice.
A very neat speech indeed.
Who taught you Will?
I've been learning a lot lately.
I never thought speech came natural from Will. I'm educating him.
A very apt pupil.
He'll do. Another 20 years, and I know which of you three men will be thought of most at the bay.
That's looking ahead a bit.
I'll admit, it takes a little imagination to see it now.
I think we ought to be getting home, Maggie.
I shouldn't marvel. I've already Tubby's a bit tired of looking after the shop. And if Father's waiting him to come in,
That's it. I'm a bit nervous.
he'll have an edge on his temper. Willie, we'll need this table when they're gone. You better be clearing the dishes away.
Yes, Maggie.
And you and Fred can help him with the washing up, Albert.
Me? Wash dishes?
Maggie, we're guests. I know. Only Albert laughed at Willie. And maybe a little washing up will make him think on that it's not allowed. Come and put your hats on.
Are you going to wash up dishes?
Are you?
Well, I look at it like this myself. All being well, you and I are marrying into this family. We already know what Maggie is.
But that's true enough. But there's this plan of hers to get us married. So, till it's done, we're to keep the good side of Maggie.
But washing dishes... What do you need the table for in such a hurry?
Oh, nay, I'm not in any hurry myself.
It's Maggie wants it for something.
It'll be for my lessons, I reckon. She's schooling me.
And don't you want to learn?
Tisn't that. I just don't want to be rude to you, turning you out so early. I don't see you want to go so soon.
Why not?
I'm fond of a bit of company.
You want company? On your wedding night?
I don't favor you going so soon.
He's shy of his wife. That's it. He's afraid of Maggie.
That's a fact. I've not been married before, you see.
You were engaged, though, weren't you?
Aye, but it wasn't for long. And you see, Maggie's not the sort you'd get familiar with.
Well, you have time enough to break the ice. It's not our job to do the thawing for you.
No, Fred. These dishes need washing. We will do them.
Have you broken anything yet, Albert?
Broken? No.
too cordial in your invitation, young man.
Nay, but I am. I'm right down glad to see you, Mr. Hobson. It makes the wedding day complete, like you being her father, and I hope you'll see your way to staying with us a good long while.
Well,
a piece of pork pie now, Mr. Hobson?
pork pie?
You'll be sociable now you're here, I hope.
It isn't sociability that brought me here, Maggie.
What was it then?
Maggie, I'm in disgrace. A sore and sad misfortune has fallen upon me. It's a very serious thing I come about, Maggie.
Not more serious than knowing you wish us well?
Well, Maggie, you know my way. When a thing's done, it's done. You had your way, and you got what you wanted. And I've given you my word there's no ill feeling.
Then you can have your cake, and you can eat it.
Pass me that tea.
Now, Father, what was it that you came about?
I'm in sore trouble, Maggie.
Then I'll leave you to talk it over with my husband.
Eh?
You'll not be wanting my help. Women only get in your way.
Maggie, you're not going to desert me in my hour of need, are you?
Surely, to goodness, you don't want a woman to help you after all you've said. Will do his best, of that I make no doubt. Come and fetch me when you're done, Will.
Maggie, it's private.
Private from Will? Nay, he's in the family now. And you've not to say to him that can't be said to me.
I'm to say this with him there.
Will and me is one.
Sit down, Mr. Hobson.
You call him father now, Will.
Do I?
Does he?
He does. Sit down, Will. Now, if you're ready, then we're ready. What's the matter?
That's the matter.
What is it, Will?
Ruin, Maggie, that's what it is. Ruin and bankruptcy.
It's an action for damages with trespass, I see.
It's a stab in the back. It's an unfair, un-English, cowardly way of taking mean advantage of a casual accident.
And did you trespass?
Maggie, I say it solemnly. It's all your fault. I did have an accident. I don't deny it. I've been in the Moonrakers and I've stayed too long. And why? Why did I stay too long? To forget that I had a thankless child, to erase the memory of your conduct.
And I'm still asking, was it an accident or did you trespass?
It was an accident. I've stayed away from lawyers all my life. I've dodged them, and they've caught me in the end, and they'll squeeze me dry for it.
My word. And that's something like a squeeze and all.
I can see it's serious. I shouldn't wonder if you didn't lose some trade over this.
I wonder. It's as sure as Christmas. My good class customers are not going to want to buy their boots from a man who was overcome at 12 o'clock in the morning. They'll not remember it was a private grief that caused it. That's what you've done. Brought this on me. You two. Between you.
Do you think it will get in the paper, Maggie?
Yes, for sure. Your name will be in the Salford Reporter, Father.
Salford Reporter. Aye, and that's not all. It'll be reported in the Manchester Guardian for everybody to read.
Hey, by God, think of that. Have your name appearing in the Guardian? Why, it's very near worthwhile to be ruined for the pleasure of reading about yourself in a printed paper.
Hear you talking. Sounds like a pleasure to you. I'm getting a lot of comfort from your husband, Maggie.
It's about
you do?
What? Here?
I find when you have a thing to settle, it's best to have all parties present.
But where did they all come from?
My bedroom.
Oh, Maggie, I wish you'd explain before my brain gives way.
It's quite simple, Father. They come because I expected you.
You expected me?
Yes, you're in trouble.
But what are Vicky and Al, why are they here? What are Vicky and Alice doing here?
They come because it's our wedding day. And Will and I will do the same when it's theirs. We'll close up shop and we'll welcome them on their wedding day.
Their wedding day. That'll be a long way off. It's many a year before there'll be another wedding in this family, I give you my word. One daughter defying me is quite enough.
Hadn't we better get to business, sir?
Young man, don't abuse a noble word. You're a lawyer. By your own admission, you're a lawyer. Honest men deal in business. Lawyers deal in law.
In this matter, sir, I am following the instructions of my client, Mr. Beanstalk, and the remark you have just let fall before witnesses appears to me to bear a libelous reflection on the action of my client.
What? So it's libel now, you
One
bloodsucking...
moment, Mr. Hobson. You can call me what you like, and I shall. But I wish to remind you, in your own interests, that abuse of a lawyer is remembered in the costs. But Mr. Beanstalk has no desire to be vindictive. No, he remembers your position, your reputation for respectability.
And how much?
I beg your pardon.
I'm not so fond of your voice as you are. What's the figure?
The sum we propose is £1,000.
What?
It isn't.
£1,000 for tumbling down the cellar. Well, I might have broken my leg.
Oh, that is in the nature of an admission, Mr. Hobson. Our flour bag saved your legs from fracture. I am therefore inclined to add to the sum I have stated a reasonable estimate of the medical bill we have saved you by protecting your legs with our bags.
Hey, Alvin Prosser, I can see you're going to get on in the world, but you needn't be greedy here. That's £1,000 too much.
But we thought...
Then think again.
But
If I get any more greediness from you two, then there'll be a counteraction of personal damages due to the criminal carelessness of leaving your cellar flat door open.
Huh. Maggie, you've saved me. I'll bring that suit. I'll show them up.
You're not damaged, and one lawyer's enough. But he'll be more reasonable now, and I know what he can afford to pay.
Not so much as you can afford, Maggie.
You can afford £500, and you will pay £500.
But there's a difference between affording and paying.
Well, then you can go to the courts and have your name reported in the papers.
It's the principle that I care about. I'm being beaten by a lawyer.
Father, dear father, how can you be being beaten when they wanted £1,000 and you're only going to give £500?
I never thought of that.
It's settled, it's settled, hurrah!
Well, Vicky, I don't know what you've got to cheer about. I'm not to be held up to public scorn, but you know, that's a tidy bit of money to be going out of the family.
It's not going out of the family.
How do you make that out?
Their wedding days aren't so far off as you thought. Now they'll have half of £500 to make a start on.
I've been diddled.
It takes 2 daughters off your hands at once, and it frees up your shop of all the fool women that used to lumber up the place.
It will be so much easier for you, Father, without us in your way.
Aye, sorry for you. Taken all in all, you're the best of the bunch. I'm through with fathering. And they're just beginning it. They'll find out soon enough what marrying a woman means. They're putting chains on themselves, and I have thrown the shackles off. I've suffered 30 years and more, but I'm a free man today. Lord, what a thing you are taking on. You poor, poor wretches.
He won't remember the half of it. He's for the Moonrakers now.
It's time we were going, Maggie. You'll be glad to see the back of us.
No, I wouldn't.
Then I would. It's high time we turned you out. There are your hats. Good night, Vicky.
Good night, Maggie.
Good night, Alice.
Good night, Maggie.
And thank you. Your slate's in the bedroom. You can go get it. I will here at the table. Off with your Sunday coat now. You don't want to mess it up. What are you doing with that mopping rag?
I was going to wash out what's on the slate.
Let me see it first. There's always room at the top. Your writing's coming along, Willie. I'll set you a short copy for tonight. It's getting late and we've a lot to do tomorrow. Good things grow from small
just a little enough to me, Tubby.
Get up, Mr. Healer.
Oh, but what you said,
I told you what he told me to tell you. Go get Dr. McFarland, he said. Nothing really about that. Mr. Hobson's not his own old self. The shop's not its own old self. And look at me. I ask you, Mr. Healer, man to man, is this the work of a foreman's shoe hand? Of cooking and setting the table? I think not.
I don't think you should be discussing that with me, Tubby.
Don't you? I'm an old servant of the master's, and I'm going to stand by his side, even though everyone thinks I'm a doting fool. This temperature's ruining this shop. Temper and obstinacy.
They say on Chapel Street, it's really not good.
Willie's a good lad. I should know so, because I trained him myself. He hurt as Willie did, but we could have made it back. We could have made it with care and tact. Tact! That's what the gaffer lacked. Oh, Jim, oh, Jim, oh, Jim. Will you be sitting in the armchair by the fire, or will you be sitting at the table? Table? Breakfast? Bacon? Bacon, and I'm like this. Should I go get Miss Maggie, sir? Mrs. Hobson?
Yes, your daughters should be here.
They should be here, but they're not. They're married, and I'm deserted by them all, and I shall die deserted. Then perhaps they'll be sorry for the way they treated me. Tubby, have you got no work to do in the shop?
I might find some if I look hard enough.
Well, then go and look and take that bacon with you. I don't like the smell.
You sure you don't want me to go get Miss Maggie? It's not a problem.
What does it matter who you go for? I'm a dying man.
Gosh, what? Oh, what's all this talk about dying, Henry?
Oh, Jim, I've sent for the doctor. We'll know soon enough how near the end is.
Well, this is awfully sudden. You haven't been feeling your life.
It's been saved up and come now, all at once.
Well, what are the symptoms then?
I'm all one symptom from head to foot, Jim. I'm afraid of myself, that's the worst. I couldn't wash this morning. The only use I saw for water was to drown myself.
Oh, you don't shoot the undertaker yet, Henry. But I fancy a doctor could improve things. Now, what do you reckon is the cause of all this?
Moonrakers.
You mean,
Yeah.
you think that...
Yeah, I don't think. I know. I've seen it happen to others, but I never thought it would come to me.
Oh, nor me either. You're not a comprehension. Oh, I grant you're regular, but you don't exceed. Oh, there's a hard thing if a man can't have a drop of ale without it turning back on him like this. I might even let
McFarlane.
Good morning, gentlemen. Oh, where's my patient?
Doctor, will you attend me?
Yes, now, sir.
Never been ill before this morning. Never wanted a doctor in all my life.
You've needed, but not sent.
Huh?
Oh, any fool would ken.
What? You know?
Any fool but one fool, and that's yourself.
You're damn polite.
Oh, and if you want flattery, I dare say you can get it from your friend over there. I'm giving you my medical opinion.
I want your opinion on my complaint, not my character.
Oh, your complaint and the character are the same.
Well, then you'll kindly separate them and you'll tell me.
I'll tell you nothing. I don't diagnose as my patient's wish, but as my intellect and sagacity direct. Good morning to you.
But you have not diagnosed.
Oh, well, if I'm going to interview a patient in the presence of a third party, the least a third party could do is keep his mouth shut.
Well, after that, there's only one thing for it. He drifts or I do.
You better go, Jim.
That's better, Mr. Hobson.
Much better. You had little to do with it.
Well, I think my calculated rudeness...
If you calculate your fees like you calculate your rudeness, they'll be high.
I calculate by time, Mr. Hobson. So let's get to business. Will you, unbutton your shirt?
No hanky-panky now.
Aye. That just confirms my first opinion. You've, had the breakdown the same,
You might say so.
a little, melancholic, depressed.
Yeah.
And do you seriously require me to tell you the cause, Mr. Hobson?
I'll pay the brass to tell me.
Chronic alcoholism. What do you even know what that means?
Aye.
A serious case.
I know it's serious. What do you think you're here for? It's to cure me.
All right. I'll write you a prescription.
Stop that.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I won't have it, dear. None of your druggist muck for me. I'm very particular about what I put into my stomach.
Mr. Hobson, if you don't mend your manners, are you certified for a lunatic asylum? Are you aware that you drunk yourself within 6 months of the grave? You've had the warning this morning that any sane man would listen to. Well, and you're going to listen to it. Aye, forbid alcohol? Absolutely.
Much good your forbidden is. I've had my liquor for as long as I can remember, and I'll have it to the end.
Oh, if that's the way you're going to talk, my services are no use to you.
In fact, I feel like my morning pint just about now.
Oh, damn it, man. Will you not be warned, you pig-headed animal? Alcohol is a poison to you. Deadly. You're in with the system and state yours is.
They're getting warm about it. Will you take your fee?
Oh, I will when I've earned it. Put it back in your purse. I'm not finished with you yet.
I thought you had.
Oh, you'll not get away from me now my grip on you. You'll die sober. And you'll live the longest you can before you die. Now, and your wife, Mr. Hobson? What, are you in bed?
Higher than that.
It is a pity. A man like yourself needs a wife.
I'm not so partial to women.
Oh, women are necessities, sir. Now, would you have a female relative that can manage you?
Manage?
Keep her thumb firm on you?
I had 3 daughters, Dr. McFarlane, and they tried to keep their thumbs on me.
Oh, where are they?
Married, and strangely married.
You drove them to it.
They all grew uppish. Maggie, worst of all.
Oh, Maggie. Oh, I tell you what we're going to do, Mr. Hobson. You'll get Maggie back, any price, at all cost to your pride. As your medical man, I order it. I prescribe Maggie. And damn it, sir, are you going to defy me again?
I don't have it, do you?
Oh, you'll have to have it. Yeah, a dunderheaded lump of obstinacy. But I've taken a fancy to you.
I've escaped the thraldom of women once, and...
Oh, and a damn fine thing you've done with your liberty. Now, if you tell me where this Maggie's to be found...
She won't come back.
Oh, that's a possibility. If she's a sensible body, I concur with your opinion she'll no come back. But maybe she'll take pity on you, after all. Now, you asked me for a cure, and the name of that cure is Maggie. Maggie, do you hear this, Mr. Hobson? Maggie.
What about me?
Oh, are you Maggie?
I'm Maggie.
You'll do.
What are you doing under my roof?
I've come because I was fetched.
Who fetched you?
Tubby Wadlow.
Come in and leave my shop this minute.
Sit down, Mr. Hobson.
He said you were dangerously ill.
He is. I'm Dr. McFarlane. Well, you come and live here again.
I'm married.
Oh, I know that, Mrs.
Mawson.
Oh, Mrs. Mawson. Are you aware your father's drinking himself to death? Now, I have a constitutional objection to letting patients slip through my fingers when it can be avoidable. Now, I'll do my best for your father, but my medicine will not do any good without your medicine to back me up. He needs a firm hand on him at all times. I'll not talk to you about the duty of a daughter, because I have no doubt he's done badly by you. But on the broad grounds of humanity, it's saving a life if you'll come.
I might.
No, but will you?
You've told me what you think. The rest's my business.
One prescription's on the table, Mrs. Mossop. The other two are total abstinence. And you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Tubby! Go around the Old Field Road and tell my husband to come.
Yes, miss. Mrs. Mawson.
Tell him to come quick.
Maggie, you know I can't be an abstainer, a man of my habits at my time of life.
You can if I come here to make you.
Are you coming?
I don't know. I have to ask my husband.
Ask Will Mossop. Maggie, I'm surprised at you. Trying an excuse like that on me.
I don't want to come, Father, but if Will tells me it's my duty, then I shall come.
You know as well as I do that asking Will is a matter of form.
Matter of form. My husband, a matter of form. He's the man with the claims on me.
I'll tip him claims, aren't I your father?
And I'm not your only daughter.
Been here long, Maggie?
A while.
Well, a fashionable solicitor's wife doesn't rise quite as early as the wife of a working cobbler. You're looking well, Father. You have quite the color.
I'm very ill.
He's not so well. The doctor says that one of us must come and look after him.
Well, I live in the Crescent now. I don't think I can be expected to come back to all of this with what I've become used to lately.
Alice?
I think it ought to be Maggie, Father. She is the eldest.
And I think that you
Oh, Father! Oh, you're ill!
Oh, Vicky, my baby. At last I find a daughter who cares for me.
Oh, of course I care. Don't the others?
You will come and live with me, Vicky, won't you?
What?
One of us has to come to
sake of Willie Mossop. It's because my legs are cold.
Now, which of us is it to be?
It's no use looking at me like that, Maggie. I've told you I'm expecting.
I don't see that rules you out. Children can happen to any of us.
Maggie.
What? Children do happen to married people, and we're all married.
I'm not breaking up my house, and that's flat. My child comes first with me.
I see. So you have a house of furniture, and you have a child on the way. So father can drink himself to death for the both of you.
That's not fair speaking. I'd come if there was no one else. You know quite well it's your duty.
It's not for me to say at all. It's for my husband.
Oh, do stop talking about your husband, Maggie. If Alice and I don't need to ask our husbands, I'm sure you need never ask yours. Willie Mossop hasn't the spirit of a louse, and we all know it as well as you do.
Maybe Will's come on since you saw him. I'll go put it to him.
Stop her!
Oh, leave her. Let her do it her own way. I'm not coming back to this. Nor I. There's only Maggie for it.
Yes, but we've got to be careful, Alice. She mustn't have things too much her way.
Father might leave them all of his money.
That would be most unfair to us.
Father must make up his will at once. Albert,
We'll draw it up. That's just the thing. Oh, we mustn't leave her alone with Willie for too long, Alice. She's only telling him what to say, and then she'll pretend like he thought it up himself. Why? Willie, what are you doing here?
I'm looking over the shop.
It's Father's shop, not yours.
That's so, but if I'm to come into a thing, I'd like to know what it is I'm coming into.
that's not like Willie Mossop.
Are you coming into it?
That's the proposal, isn't it?
I didn't know it was.
Now then, Maggie, go and bring your father down, and be sharp. I'm busy in my shop. It's been a good business in its day, too, has Hobson's.
What on earth do you mean? It's a good business still.
You try to sell it, you'd learn. 200 as it is, not as it was in our time.
Do you mean to tell me that Father isn't rich?
If you've not married into the law, you'd know what they think of your father today in trading circles. Vicky ought to know her husband's in trade.
My Fred in trade.
Isn't he?
He's in wholesale. That's business, not trade. And the value of Father's shop is no concern of yours, Willie Mossop.
Now, I thought maybe it was. If Maggie and me are coming here,
You're coming to look after Father.
Maggie can do that with one hand tied behind her back. I'll look after the business.
You'll do what's arranged for you.
I'll do the arranging, Alice. If we come here on my terms. Good morning, Father. I'm sorry to hear you're not so well.
I'm a changed man, Will.
There seems to be room for improvement.
Sit down, Father.
Aye, don't let us be too long about this. You've kept me waiting now a good while, and my time's valuable. I'm busy in my shop.
Is your shop more important than my life?
That's a bit like asking me if a pound of tea weighs heavier than a pound of lead. I'm worried about your life because of where it's Maggie. But I'm not worried that I'll see my business suffer for the sake of you.
That isn't what I've a right to expect from you, Will Mossop.
You've no right to expect I care whether you sink or swim.
Will!
What's to do? You told me to take a high hand, didn't you?
And we're to stay here watching Will and Maggie abusing Father when he's ill?
No need for you to stay.
That's the true word, Will Mossop.
Father, you take his side against your own flesh and blood.
That doesn't come so well from you, my girl. You wouldn't come and look after your father beforehand.
But Father, dear Father,
I'm not so dear to you that you'd think twice before coming to take care of me. A proper daughter chance of being able to take care of her father.
Did Maggie jump?
She's a bit anxious for jumping, is Maggie. She's coming, and that's more than you're doing, isn't it, Alice? Eh? Are you coming?
No.
You?
It's my child, Father. I don't.
Never mind what it is. Are you coming or not?
No.
Them that aren't willing can leave, so I can talk to them that are.
Do you mean we're to go?
I understand you have homes to go to.
Oh, Father.
Show them the way, Lily.
Vicky? Well, I don't know. You can come by for afternoon tea on Sundays, if you'll condescend to come sometimes. Beggars on horseback.
Nay, come. There's no ill will.
Now, my lad, I'll tell you what I'll do. You two can come here, both of you, to this shop, and you can have the back bedroom for your own, and the use of this room split along with me. Maggie'll keep house, and if she's time to spare, she can help out in the shop. I'm after finding Will a job. You can come back to your own job in the cellar, Will, and I'll pay you your old wage of 18 shillings a week. And if that's not handsome, I don't know what is. I'm finding you a house rent-free and paying half the keep of your wife.
Come home, Maggie.
I think I'll have to.
Well, what's the hurry for?
It might be news to you, but I have a business to run, and I'm wasting my time here.
A man who's been offered a job at Hobson's doesn't want to worry about a business in a wretched cellar.
He's a shop to see to his own, Father.
Shall I tell him, Maggie, or shall we go?
Go! I don't want to keep
If
people...
Willie goes, then I go. You better tell him, Will.
All right. I will. We've been a year in yon wretched cellar, and you know what we've done? We've paid off Mrs. Hepworth what she lent us for our start, and made a bit of brass on top of that. We've got your high-class trade away from you. You've got no trade, and me and Maggie's got it all. And now, you're on your bended knees to her to come and live with you. And all you think to offer me is my old job at 18 shillings a week? Me? That's the owner of a business that is starving yours to death?
But you're Will Mossop. You're my old shoe man.
I work. But I've moved on a bit since then. Your daughter married me and said about my education. And I'll tell you what I'll do, and it'll be the handsome thing and all from me to you. I'll close my shop. I'll transfer to this address. And what I'll do that's handsome is this. I'll take you in partnership and give you your half share on the condition your sleeping partner don't try interference on with.
Me? A partner here?
William Mossop, late Hobson, is the name this shop will have.
Oh, wait a bit. I don't agree to that.
I'm to be given a half share of my own shop in condition that I take no part in running it. Is that what you said?
It had better not be late, Hobson.
Well, I've heard of impudence before, but this is ridiculous.
It's all right, Father.
But did you hear what he said?
Yes, that's settled. Quite settled. It's the name we're arguing about now. I won't have late Hobsons. It had better be Hobson and Mossop.
His name on my signboard.
The best I'll do is this. Mossop and Hobson.
No.
Mossop and Hobson, or It's Oldfield Road for us, Maggie.
Very well. Must have been Hobson.
I'll make some alterations to this shop. I will so.
Alterations in my shop?
In mine. Look at this chair. How can you expect the high-class folk to come in and sit on a chair like that? Folk like to be pampered. Pampering pays. There'll be a carpet on that floor, too.
The carpet? Young man, do you think this shop is in St. Anne's Square, Manchester?
Not yet, but it's going to be.
What does he mean?
It's no farther from Chapel Street to St. Anne's Square than it is from Oldfield Road to Chapel Street. I've done one jump in a year. If I wait a bit, I'll do the other. Thanks. I reckon your father could do with a bit of fresh air after this. I dare say it's come sudden to him. Suppose you walk with him to Albert Prosser's office and get him to draw up the deed of partnership.
I'll get my hat.
He's crushed like Maggie. I'm afraid I wore on him too hard.
You needed to be.
I said such things to him, and it sounded as if I meant them too.
Didn't you?
Did I? Yes, I suppose I did. That's just the worst. For me, to him, you told me to be strong and use the power that's come to me through you. But he's the old master,
And you're the new.
master of Hobson's. It's an outrageous big idea. Did I sound confident, Maggie?
You did all right.
Hey, but I weren't by half so confident as I sounded. Words came from my mouth that made me jump at my own boldness. When it came to facing you about the name, I feared you trembled in my shoes. I was carried away like, or I did not dare to cross you, Maggie.
Don't spoil it, Will. You're the man that I made you, and I'm proud.
Thy pride is not in the same street, lass, with the pride I have in you. And, that reminds me, I've a job to see to.
What job?
Oh, about the improvements.
You'll not do aught without consulting me.
I'll do this, lass.